Hello and welcome back to TimeSplitters in Detail. In this series, the goal is to explore every aspect of the game. We'll be using several tools and cheats to explore levels in their entirety and take a closer look at some details that might be overlooked or otherwise inaccessible to the player. In the previous two-part episode, we looked at Siberia in depth, and for this video we'll be exploring the multiplayer map Streets from both TimeSplitters 1 and TimeSplitters 2. We'll cover both iterations of this level and compare the changes made as it transitioned over into TimeSplitters 2, as in the last video we'll be exploring Out of Bounds to see if there's anything hidden away. First impressions are that, straight away, TimeSplitters 2 has given the level more atmosphere. There's snow falling to match the snow-covered streets, and a dark moving skybox which adds to the level's feel. There's also a jumbo jet that passes over the streets every minute or so, and we'll get back to the jet later on. The level layout does undergo a revision in TimeSplitters 2. Some of the previously closed garage doors are now open. The greatest change, however, comes in the form of a third entrance added to the blue team's base. It's a bit of an odd choice, as there was already two entrances to this base, and with this change, the blue team needs to defend from 3 entrance points, whereas red team has just 1. There's also a lot of minor differences and changes in the level between the two games. These aren't things that affect gameplay, more so the look and feel of the level. TimeSplitters 1 has a billboard advertising a Big Rad burger, saying, "Be free, have a Big Rad." Obviously a fun nod to Free Radical, but this is sadly missing in TimeSplitters 2. Another detail that was removed in TimeSplitters 2 was the Linux graffiti sign near the blue team's base. Also, another piece of graffiti for FR Design near the red team's base didn't make it into the sequel. Some more street cleaning took place in TimeSplitters 2, this time removing the red Kaz Was Here graffiti at the entrance to this stairwell. There's a neon hum sound effect for this sign in TimeSplitters 1, but the sound was removed in number 2. You can hear nearby police sirens in TimeSplitters 1 which aren't present in the sequel. It seems in the later game the streets have been cleaned up. TimeSplitters 2 added some timing and flickering effects to some of the signs. Another small change is this road sign has been rotated in TimeSplitters 2. For some reason, the roller doors use different textures between the two games. There are likely many other small differences here and there, but as you can see here, the levels for the most part are identical. Here's a quick run through of both levels from one end to the other. Okay, so with that out the way, it's now time to start looking at the level in a bit more detail. There are a few buildings in the level which look to have small interiors, such as this car park and a few other buildings with breakable windows. By going out of bounds, we can explore these areas and see that they do indeed have very small interior sections. I think this multi-storey car park would be a good area for the blue team to defend their base. It would make for a good sniping spot. There are limited interiors behind the breakable windows, though no floors as the player would never normally see them. I was interested in getting a better look at the plane that flies overhead. By going out of bounds, we can track its flight path. I'm now quite far outside the level. You can see the plane pop out of the ground and we can follow it to see its route. Before I take chase to see where the plane goes, I've been able to freeze it using the freeze animations cheat. This lets us have a good look at the plane in detail. You'll notice one side is lit properly, whilst the other side is very dark, and the top section of the plane is missing. Interestingly, I noticed that bullet holes left on the plane will still be present when it appears back in the starting location. The plane flies across the level and then gradually descends, banking left. It will eventually pass underneath the floor of the map and reappear at its start point. I used the moment it was descending through the level to take a look at the interior. There's very little detail as you'd expect, but it's still nice to be able to peek inside. I think it's safe to say this might be the first time that the brick has been used to hit this plane. Streets also appears in the challenge mode section, TimeSplitters Story Classics, in Badass Bus Pass Impasse. It's unique in the sense that for the first and only time, the level has AI blocks as well as several minor modifications to the layout, mostly to stop you from accessing certain areas, usually through the use of boxes or barrels, the same found in Mapmaker. And with that, I think that sums up everything there is for me to discover in this level. Being an original TimeSplitters 1 map, there's not a great deal for me to discover or play with, but I've enjoyed taking a look at the changes this level went through between the games, and having fun with a jumbo jet. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.